Michael Kelly is the Australian War Memorial's resident historian. He joined the Australian War Memorial in 2004 after he served as a rifleman in the 8th 9th Battalion in the Royal Australian Regiment. Having worked as an assistant curator within the redevelopment of the Second and First World War galleries, Michael is also actively involved in the $500 million refurbishment of the War Memorial. And joining us to discuss his work and what we as Australians can expect from one of Australia's most iconic, most important probably, and definitely one of the most moving memorials is Michael Kelly. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much for having me on.
Great to have you. Now, on the eve of Anzac Day, as the war rages in Ukraine, there's never been a more pertinent or persistent reminder of why our Anzac and our War Memorial holds such a special place. What can we expect for the Anzac Day tribute now with the redevelopment going on there?
This year, the Anzac Day commemorations are going to be a lot more subdued than normal. A large construction site for anybody who's around Canberra at the moment can well attest. The parade ground itself is under major reconstruction and won't be ready till 2025. So the commemorations have been moved out to our western courtyard side into the sculpture garden area. So you'll see where the Stone of Remembrance has been moved to out of service and where the national ceremony at a much reduced scale will be held this year.
Now, we've had a couple of years, especially here in Victoria, where we've had as you say, subdued or a lesser sized memorial. Last year we had restricted numbers at our Shrine of Remembrance here in Victoria for the dawn service. The year before that, we actually had our driveway service, and to me it was one of the most moving Anzac days that I'd experienced. We had a bugler at the end of our street, and we had the entire street at their end of the driveways, some with their version of the eternal flame, and when that bugle rang out, just so moving.
Very much. We had something similar in 2020 as well. Being my resident historian on the street at home, I basically had our entire street out as well, and we had ABC come and cover it for us as well, because they were keen to cover that dawn on the driveway and just to see how much it meant to people. But when our little we had a 10-year-old down the other end of the street who played the bugle for us, did the last post. But as he started sounding, you could hear all the other buglers around our suburb at home starting to go at the same time, and it just rose the hairs on your arms. It was really quite special.
Yeah, it moves me to tears every time. It's funny, as I've gotten older, it's held more and more tribute. My father served in Korea, but for some reason it's become so much more important as I've gotten older.
Very much so. I think it does take on that extra significance, and as we gain that sort of we'll never truly understand, me personally having served but never seen combat. You can only ever sort of hear the stories, and you'll never understand it yourself. But just sort of understanding that these men and women are getting older and fading away, and it's passing on to us and the new generations that are coming after us, to keep that tradition alive and so that the memories of what they've done is never forgotten.
Now, the $500 million refurbishment of the War Memorial, what can we expect to see?
Basically, we're going to have about a 50% more increased gallery space, so a larger Anzac Hall or a new structure to replace Anzac Hall, a new entryway which will be sunken in underground under the current steps, so that's being done at the moment as well. A new parade ground, and basically a lot of that new space will be given over to be able for us to tell the stories of also humanitarian and disaster relief over those 30-year periods. So to be able to tell their stories better and to make it a place more welcoming to our modern veterans, so to speak.
Great. And when are we looking at being completed with the renovations, Michael?
That's looking at 2025 at the moment for the parade ground, and I think about 2027 all up to be complete and all galleries back open and functioning.
Great. All right. Well, Michael, we really look forward to seeing the finished renovation of it. It's such an important, iconic memorial, and if you haven't been there, I would urge you to go there. It is the most moving, again, sorry, I'm going to tear up again, But as you say, hairs on the back of your neck, and the sacrifice and service that these men and women have done, you know, forever grateful.
I think if you come up now, there is going to be fairly reduced galleries to have a look at, but again, still worth it. But when you do come up again, and when visitors start returning to Canberra post the redevelopment, or the development, I'm sorry, it'll be worth maybe spending at least 3 to 4 days to a week, even if you can have the time spare, because there's going to be that many stories to get through, and to hear it's going to be quite significant and very special.
Great. All right, Michael Kelly, thanks so much for your time, and thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mike.